annoying.
It really is. You don't have that.
No, because I remember I was allergic once to like a fresh cutted grass.
Yeah.
Freshly
cut grass.
My London is very good today. No, fresh cut grass. Yeah, because I was cycling. I never told you that I was professional cyclist.
You did, but you didn't tell the listeners. Yeah, no.
Yes, no, but I was cycling, and then they were on the oval, and they were cutting the grass in the middle.
Yeah,
and I had to leave because then my face was all like, not swollen, but like bunged up.
Yeah,
the nose was bunged up, and it was so itchy, like in this area.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't win because.
It was a training.
Someone cut the. Okay.
It was a training. It was a training.
Thank goodness. Otherwise,
I
could sue.
Yes.
And be like, hey, you caused me my win. You know,
bitches.
You could suck and still be like, I would have won had it not been for the mere fact that some idiot was mowing the lawn.
I could have
in the middle of.
I could have blamed all my loss on the grass, but it was a training. It was a training.
But you know, the pollen is it's awful, and I get mornings and evenings. It's really bad, and right now it's not the middle of the day, and I get the asthma and everything. Like,
but what do you like? Do you have it your entire life?
I was born this way. Yeah.
No. So what are the
options?
Called? Not the options, but like how
the cure.
No. What are the symptoms? I was gonna ask.
The symptoms.
Yeah.
Well,
the Simpsons.
The Simpsons. The Simpsons. The Simpsons are. I get. Well, I can't breathe.
At all.
At all. At times, I have an inhaler with me that I have to have.
Or more.
But it's only in spring. I have spring asthma kind of thing. With the pollen. And then I get sometimes a clogged nose, sometimes an itchy nose, sometimes a runny nose. My eyes get swollen and itchy, and sometimes I wake up and I can't open my eyes because they're like stuck together.
Terrible.
It's awful.
Muriel.
And I can't breathe. Did I mention I can't breathe?
You had mentioned it quite a few times,
because it's quite awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if I have to be out in short, not sections, but short intervals. I can't be out too long because then it looks like I was in a fight. Like I get swollen, my eyes, and it's like really, if I'm out like for an entire day when the birch trees are really, really like getting out there. Then it looks like I was in a fight. Yeah, it
sounds terrible.
Awful.
Sounds
so I'm
terrible.
getting a cue for that. So it's like I'm not sure they're gonna have that problem. I remember you mentioned in Dubai how there's a law against like you have to clean the cars.
Yeah.
In Dubai.
Yeah.
We mentioned that in our last episode in the podcast.
We did, in case you haven't heard.
Which brings me to our next point. We actually. Drum roll. We actually have our first interaction with one of you people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we received a nice letter from one of our listeners since we were talking about Dubai.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, she's a girl.
So it's a friend of yours.
It's basically a friend of mine.
Yes.
But I didn't know that she's listening to the podcast, by the way. And she heard it, and then she sent us a story from the time, I don't remember when it was.
It was 2016, 2017 there
Yes.
at some point. She went to Dubai, and she actually, because we mentioned Dubai last time, she wanted just to tell us a story about her experience.
And to you.
With Dubai. And so, without further ado,
we have the letter, and Eleonor will actually read it, because when I read, I buffer. I'm not a good reader, and she's better at it. So then she's going to read it, and I think it's actually very interesting. I read it.
So did I.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then it's super interesting. So now just give us, I don't know how long. 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Give us 3 minutes,
and
5 minutes. Yeah.
She will read it to you guys.
I will do my best voice.
And then we can talk about it.
Could you also introduce her? Like, what's her name?
I don't know if we can, if she wants to be known.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
It's
fine. We know who you are.
A. It starts with A.
Let's call her Belinda.
I just said she starts with A. Let's call her Belinda.
Because I say B, you know. And I'm sure we have fans listening to us called Belinda. So it's not you. I just took it because I'm sure that none of us actually knows a person called Belinda.
I
So
don't know a person called Belinda.
cool. So it's safe. Right. Here we go.
Mhm.
Dubai, 2016, 2017. I went to Dubai on Christmas Day 2016. My idea was that I would work and live there because I needed a change. Also, I had an intuitive feeling that for some reason I must go there. Therefore, I sent all my stuff to Dubai and flew there. I had planned to stay at an Airbnb for my first week, and when I arrived in Dubai, a man called Ali was waiting for me. He seemed to be a nice guy, but I arrived in the middle of the night. I was far away from my family and friends. I was extremely tired from the long journey, now in a car with some Arabic guy. Of course, I had a pretty much mixed feeling, and in that moment I said to myself, "Oh my lord, what have I done?" Ollie's apartment wasn't that far away from the airport, about 30 minutes, I would say. But instead of getting a room of my own that I was told that I would have, I had to stay in the living room with just a screen dividing the room. There wasn't a door. It was just like I would live in the living room with a kitchen where there was a bed and some type of wardrobe. It was very disappointing as I was supposed to have a nice room. But Ollie's wife and kid was in the room and I should have said something, but I wasn't brave enough. I was glad that at least I had a place to sleep since I was extremely tired. When I woke up and looked out the window, I was a bit shocked. All I saw was blocks of ugly apartments and sand. It was nothing like my picture of what Dubai looked like, so I decided to call a taxi and get into the center of Dubai. The first day was really hot, and it was kind of strange to know that it was Christmas. It didn't feel like it. City center was so different and beautiful. High buildings, massive shopping centers, and so many different beaches. You wouldn't actually think that behind all those high buildings there are beaches. The very first day, I fell in love with Dubai, but I needed to find a new flat or a room since I only had booked a week at the Airbnb. This was quite challenging. I would run over advertisements and looked for flats, but in most cases, the apartments looked terrible and the price was unbelievably high. I went to see some flats, but it was surprisingly overwhelming. In almost all the apartments I went to, there were mostly Russian women who were unbelievably unkind and messy. And when I went to see the first apartment, a young Russian girl opened, stared at me, and after a while, she asked me what I wanted. I answered that I came to see the room that was for rent, and she just pointed her finger and said, "It's over there." And off she went.
Mhm.
I looked around and I was shocked. It was a dirty, smelly room with a hole in the mattress. I did not want to see the rest of the apartment, so I just said thanks and bye. And the other two flats I went to see weren't that bad, but still, it wasn't something you would want to pay so much money for. I'm not saying that all people were arrogant and unfriendly. On the other hand, there was a lot of Filipinos living in Dubai, and they lived in one room apartments together with 6 to 8 people. And they worked hard, and I suppose because of the conditions they lived, they still managed to save some money and send it back home, which must be extremely difficult for them. They also were the kindest people that I met in Dubai. After these experiences, I decided to look for shared rooms, but those were mostly in the high buildings and even more expensive. But this time, luck was on my side. I met Lauren, who was a girl from Ireland.
Ireland.
Ireland, yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful, kind, and a very friendly person. We ended up as great friends. She was a model, a dancer, and a fire eater. And because of her, I met a lot of new people and we were having fun in nightclubs for free. Because in Dubai, if you go with someone who works in the club, you would get a bracelet and a booth where you would get a three-course meal and drinks for free all night. Cool.
Mhm.
I had a lot of fun as these nightclubs weren't like the ones in Europe. It was in one of those high buildings on the top floors. So I saw amazing views from many different buildings. I saw something that I wouldn't have ever seen if I hadn't met Lauren, and this was my best time in Dubai. Nevertheless, in Dubai, it's very difficult to find well paid jobs where you could live a decent life and save some money. The only jobs where you would earn enough to save money were high qualified jobs, but obviously I didn't know that. When I came to Dubai, I went for my first au pair interview. The interview was arranged when I was still in England. However, it didn't go well. I wasn't happy with the salary. I would have to work 6 days a week, 8 to 12 hours a day, and I would get about 600 to 700 pounds per month, which would not even be enough for my rent. So I was very disappointed. But I didn't want to give up. I was prepared to live in Dubai, so I went for another au pair interview. It was for this 6-year-old sweet girl, but the salary they offered was very much the same as in the previous interview. So I gave up on childcare and tried to get a job in restaurant. But I was surprised to find out that it paid about the same amount that I would earn being an au pair. So then I desperately asked Lauren if she might know about something available. And she asked around her friends and got me a job in one of those clubs that she danced for. To be honest, I didn't feel like working in the nightclub, but I felt like this was my last chance, and I wanted to give it a go and at least try. The deal I made with the managers at the interview was that I would work 3 nights for free. It was their standard conditions, and then we would decide what to do after that. So I was in charge to serve alcohol and looked after a group of people in a VIP booth. At the same time, I also had lots of fun. I loved the music. I met new people, and I could dance. And I watched Lauren, how she eats the fire. I don't really know the word for that, but fire eater.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit scary for me though, but still, I liked that my job was also fun. However, on my last night, I was supposed to decide if I wanted to stay in Dubai or if I wanted to go back to England, and everything turned around that night. I had an extremely disappointing experience. The owner of the club was sitting in the VIP booth. He was there with a few people, and I served them vodka. When I brought them their second shot of vodka, the owner grabs my hand and said, "Wait." And then he emptied his shot. He threw the glass in my face, and I was shocked. I was standing there to see how half of the people thought it was a laugh, and the other half would be like, why would he do that? I felt disrespected, and I literally ran to one of the managers and I told him what just happened, and he said, "I'm really sorry about that, but I have no power to sort this out since it's the owner." My only answer was, "Okay, but I'm leaving right now and I am not coming back." So I went home disappointed and upset, thinking that my journey in Dubai is almost over. Then the other morning, when I told Lauren that I would go back to London, Lauren asked me if I wanted to try to become a crew member with the Emirates. During my journey in Dubai, I heard that this was an option, but it wasn't for me. Besides, I knew I wouldn't cope with jet lag, and I was informed that the conditions weren't as good as it seemed. Although, as part of the crew, I would have the opportunity to live in Dubai for free, but the living conditions wasn't that great. I would be living in an apartment in the middle of nowhere with 3 to 5 people in the room, and the salary wouldn't be good enough to make it worth living under those conditions. And so, after a month and a half of adventure in Dubai, my final decision was to go back to England. Still, it was the best experience of my life, and I would go again, but this time only for holiday. So, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Since it's my friend who actually sent this to us, I know her for many years, and I remember now when you were reading it.
mhm.
So then we were talking through this whole thing. So, and you read it very nicely. Thank you very much, Eleonor.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's what I didn't
Thank
read
you.
because I can't read that well,
Yeah.
so dramatically, you see. So, and I remember
You have to add some pizzazz.
absolutely, and you are good at it. I'm not. But I do remember many things that we were talking about. I remember she sent me the video
Mm.
of the apartment, like she arrived to straight from the airport,
Yeah. The one with Ollie and the wife and the kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that. I know who Lauren was.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures. Beautiful girl.
Mm-hmm.
And many of those stories. And this is obviously just like a letter for us to read for you to know in case you would like to move to Dubai. I also have two other friends who live there, and they live there for many years, and they are super happy.
Yeah.
Because their jobs are somewhere else.
Yes.
Which is completely true.
Well, I have an acquaintance though, and she also lives in Dubai, and she has like one of those plush lives, lush lives, that you see as well. The ones that you imagine that you're going there for. Like she actually has like she lives in a great apartment in a tall building. She has a great job and fancy clothes and everything. So.
And this is the thing. This is like the same thing. Like if you want to move to America, I feel like, and you want to have the American dream.
Yeah.
It's not always that.
No. And I think it's probably very important. Kind of like we're kind of going back to where we started in the beginning of the podcast, actually, because I think it's kind of important to when you go somewhere, if you have a dream to go somewhere and visit a country and try and live in a country, it's wise to do some research first so that you don't arrive at the airport and you're shocked and you realize that everything is so much more difficult than you thought it would be, and nearly impossible maybe, for some people to achieve what you were envisioning, and so I guess the lesson of the story and of the letter is do your research.
Do your research, absolutely.
Do your research, yeah.
I agree. And also, this is not just to scare you, like, oh, now we're not going to go traveling, now we're not going to go anywhere.
And now we're not going to go to Dubai.
Exactly. Like, I've never... Have you ever been in Dubai?
I've never
Me
been
neither.
to Dubai.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was at the airport. I had
In Dubai?
Yes.
Really?
I had to wait for 2 hours.
Ooh, well, so technically...
I was in Dubai.
Well, isn't airports international grounds, though? So if you were there, you can't say so. But technically...
The same like I was in China.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
I mean, the ground is the ground is the ground. It's in China.
Yeah, we landed.
In Dubai.
Exactly.
Like, they built the... Yeah.
No, but like I've never been in Dubai and I would like to go. And I remember when she was there, and then I don't know if I mentioned that I wanted to be a cabin crew, if I mentioned in the podcast or not.
You actually mentioned that, that the day you got approved to go to New Zealand,
I got invitation.
You got a job offer for...
Not job offer, invitation for an interview.
For Emirates.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I
that
remember...
Could be you.
Yes, and when she was in Dubai, and then she told me that all she can do is Emirates, and I was like, oh my God, like, go for it. Like, why wouldn't you? It was my dream for so many years, and up until today... Even though I'm not dreaming about it anymore, I have no visible tattoos. Oh yeah, actually do have one here now, which is kind of visible, and it's kind of fresh though.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to be a member now.
No, but like now that's because of that. Now I actually want to have some tattoos on my hands or arms or something, because I really, when I had tattoos, I was covering it because I was really like, one day I'm going to be cabin crew. And when she told me that she could, and she didn't want to, and I was like, oh my God, like why? But every single person has their own standards, like what they want to do, what they don't want to do.
Of course,
because what's good for you doesn't need to be good for me, and vice versa. So
we don't all say yes to the same things.
Exactly.
We don't all say no.
Also, we would like to encourage you guys, if you have any stories, anything at all, like if it's funny, if it's sad, if it's interesting for you, it's going to be interesting for us.
Absolutely.
Please.
I mean, I was super... It's kind of exciting though to have I wouldn't say outdoors fans, but it's like people outside the studio.
Exactly. Not me and Eleonor.
Not us.
Not us.
It's actually quite fun that you're keen enough to send the stories to us.
To share your story and then give us allowance, obviously, to share it with you, because
we're all a big happy family here, right? We're sharing with each other, so that's cool. Really cool.
Exactly.
Thank you. And I forgot what I called her.
Belinda.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you, Belinda. Because I don't know if because she said we are absolutely allowed to read it and stuff, so it's all fine.
Yes.
So the GDPR kind of passed, but then I'm not sure about the name, so I'm not going to say the name.
No.
So Belinda.
Belinda
it is. Thank you, Belinda. But to be honest, like, I would like to go to Dubai and then, like, have those beautiful pictures. But to be honest, now so many of those influencers and those famous celebrities and stuff. Like everyone is going to Dubai and everyone is posting basically the same buildings all the time. It's nothing really that special.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we haven't been, so we can't really say.
Yeah,
Maybe we
true,
come there and
true.
we gobsmacked and be like, "Oh my
Exactly.
god, this is
Yeah.
very special."
But because you
You know?
see it all over the media all the
Yes.
time because someone is always there.
Mm.
So it's like, and everyone is always
Mm.
showing the Burj Khalifa and
Yeah.
then the singing fountain or whatever it's called. I don't know.
I don't know. And
And
then the
those
islands
things.
that looks like a leaf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Atlantis, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So then it's like, yeah, okay, cool, I've seen it. So then I don't know. I'm not eager to go.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Some
the
people
world
is.
is big, and I'm sure that there are places that are like nobody knows about. Well, not many people knows about that are. I mean, if it looks like Dubai, then people would know about it. But you get my drift. Like if there are places that are hidden gems, you know.
Hidden gems.
And I'm more into that. Like I like the possibility of finding a hidden gem that it's like, oh my lord, why does nobody know about this place? And thank goodness nobody does, because now you get
Yes.
it to yourself.
Exactly.
Exactly, right?
The only thing that I found actually very interesting was about, you know how Arabic countries are when it comes to sexuality and female or like
Yeah.
male approach to females and other way around and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
That you are not allowed to like show too much skin and stuff like that, which is true. This is like that.
Mhm.
But the sheikhs in Dubai or in Arabia are very smart men
Of course.
because all this is not allowed. But as soon as you want to be, I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly now or not, but something in the sense like if you want to be a prostitute, you can. Then then it's kind of allowed somehow, and I don't know how, but it is. And then maybe you need to pay some tax off of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which actually
Like,
brings me.
you'd say, okay, hold on. You're saying it's legal. It's legal to be a prostitute in.
I think maybe not prostitute like standing on like by the road and
But
woohoo.
an escort. Escort.
Yes, escort.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the
Uh-huh.
word. So then that's somehow legal because you are somehow, I don't know how, paying tax off of it. Which brings me to one thing
They
that
do
I
that in
thought,
Sweden too, and Norway.
and
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I was
Wait, you can be in the union. You can
Of
be in the union.
prostitutes?
Yeah.
Would you like to be in?
Can
you imagine?
No, but it's like let's get organized. You know, let's have the union in our backs. You know, and be be protected. But
Hi, I am a prostitute
but the
and I would like to be part of the
catch-22
union.
The catch-22 is you're allowed to be working as a prostitute, being organized on the union, but you're not allowed to buy the service that they're giving. That's the illegal part. So,
But you are allowed to offer.
yes,
But you are not. But you are not allowed to
I don't know
purchase.
about Amsterdam though, but I know in Scandinavia, anyways, it's because it is to protect the people who are working with this. That's why they're having like you're allowed to have it, you're allowed to work as it because it's for their protection. Because if it's illegal, then they might be forced into it and then they get thrown into jail.
Yeah.
But it is actually illegal to purchase the service that they're providing. So it's kind of like a catch-22 because obviously they're making money.
Yes, obviously they are making money. And I was going to say because one of my friend was in
Yes.
Amsterdam now,
Yes.
and they went to the red light district
As you do.
as you do, and it was actually so interesting to hear about it. Again, I'm allowed to say the story,
Yeah.
but it was about they went to I don't know if it was a museum or something.
I've heard some stories too from that area.
They went to a museum or not museum. Well, maybe it was a museum or some sort of something that you pay money and then you go and then they just give you a guided tour and they tell you many interesting informations. And one of those informations, Eleanor, I will ask you. How many men do you think one legal prostitute in Amsterdam, in red light district, how
Yes.
many men can they do
Per night?
night?
Can they do or
What's the average?
I mean, can they do or are they allowed
okay. I
to do?
will ask. Hang on.
'Cause can they do? I mean, I'm sure they
I will
could
ask
do a
you
lot.
one thing first.
Yeah.
How much time do you think that one prostitute has per one man?
Okay, so here's the thing, because now my brain goes into mode where I'm thinking, okay, this is a trick question though, because you're gonna trick me into wanting to say a very large number, like, oh, I'm sure that they're doing 50 per night. Nah, I'm not gonna fall for that little one, Missy, because I think it's like, they do two. two per night maybe, and they make a fortune of it because it's a touristy thing. I don't know. I don't know this. This is just my guess because I think that's how the question is actually put. So I'm gonna say two.
How much time do you think that they have per one man? Like one prostitute has per one man?
30 minutes.
Okay. So it's wrong.
Damn.
So
I don't like being
prostitutes in Amsterdam,
Uh-huh.
they have 6 minutes per man,
6.
and
I'm sure they manage.
and they yeah, I'm sure too. And then another half they can just get dressed again.
Yeah, exactly. Like the rest of the 3 minutes, they're just talking
Just talking and then, hi, my name is Thomas, and I'm shy, and
and a virgin.
please do something.
Yes.
No, and they can do, in average, 120 men, one prostitute, 120 men per day.
So I actually fell for the trap because I should have gone for the high number. But I even said 50, so that's not even 120.
Can you imagine 120
But I'm sure they're not
penises?
actually sitting on all of them. They're probably just doing hand jobs and blow jobs and
No, but still, can you imagine seeing every day,
yeah.
each day, all the time, 100, let's say 100 penises? Can you imagine? And then you have the variety, like, they must see it
Imagine
all.
gynecologists. Yeah,
but again, they definitely don't have 100 women per day. They can't.
No, but urologists then, people who deal with male.
But still, because you have, let's say, 20 minutes per patient.
I'm not sure that's a correct name, though. I'm sorry.
Urology, yes, it is.
Isn't it? I think there's another name for it, though.
No,
also.
urology. Well, that's for the...
Urology. Okay.
That's not for the song. No, because you have a shift 9 hours, 8 hours. So you're not going to do 100 men and then, oh, my dick doesn't work. Oh, mine too.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you go home to your husband and you're like, oh my God. It was a rough day today. I had it's a festival in town and God knows what, and so I had 200 today. I'm absolutely shocked.
No, so then it's impossible to...
Oh, because they're only allowed to 120. Right.
No, they are not allowed to. It's approximate number.
Yeah.
It's about 120 men per shift per day. One prostitute. This is ridiculous. And when you are in the museum, I'm going to call it museum, even though it isn't. But it's like a guided tour, let's say. So they also have something like a peep show. You can pay for the peep show. Also, they have a porn theater.
Yeah, like a cinema.
Theater.
Oh, a theater? Like
Theater.
actors on stage, yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
A porn.
Wow.
I mean, I would like to... Not like... I would like to see.
So,
Wouldn't you?
Sure. I mean, if I went to Amsterdam all the way...
Don't let me hanging here. Say yes.
If I ever go to Amsterdam, obviously I'm doing not the full package because I'm not going to purchase any services in that sense. But yeah, of course I will go into the museum. Speaking of museum, I was once many years ago in Italy.
Right.
Where we went to Pompeii. And which was, I mean, that was a dream come true. I've been wanting to do it ever since I learned about Pompeii as a child. And oh dear Lord, it is so big that I think we covered maybe a quarter, maybe a third. A third that's pushing it. Maybe a quarter of it in like a day. Because, I mean, I'm also always slowing people down because I need to look at all the details for at least 10 minutes each because I'm racing away in my in my head of the history and the people. Like if I see a carving in a rock, I'm like, someone stood on this.
I do the same
spot
thing,
and they carved this.
Yes, I do the same thing.
Right here, they stood right here, and they had a life, and they were born, and stuff like that. And so it takes time for me, okay? But Pompeii. Anyhow, they had, and I thought it was really, really cool. They have like excavated at least one brothel where they still have pictures intact on the walls, and it seemed to me, if I remember this correctly, it seemed to me that the pictures on it was kind of like different pictures up on the just below the ceiling. And you know when you go to a kebab shop, and you or a Chinese food shop or
Yeah.
Thai food
And they
shop,
had the food.
they had the pictures and
selection.
you
Yeah.
point to that.
Yeah.
It seemed to me like the pictures in the brothel that you had were kind of like a kebab shop where it's like, I want that
Number
service. Where it's like,
32.
I want that. I want you to do that to me. And the beds were there. Obviously, not the mattresses, but you know, beds were there. It was really, really cool though, because it is the oldest
And
profession
it
known
was
to
like a
man.
whorehouse that you went to.
That was a
Sorry, I
brothel,
got.
yeah, a whorehouse.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't know the word brothel.
Brothel
Well, we also have
or brothel.
non-native speaking people. So you meant a
For
whorehouse.
Yes, or a house of prostitution,
Well, house of love.
house of love that you pay for,
Much, much love.
love that is not genuine, but you
money.
pay for it.
Yes.
The house of pleasure,
Yeah, good,
the
good.
pleasure
House
house.
of pleasure, the pleasure house, the whorehouse.
Yes, the grand lady house. Anyhow,
Yeah. Just looking for the words.
so many names.
So they had
The
basically
house
selection.
of the rising sun.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. So they had selection of things that you can basically pick, and then
And those
you
pictures, yeah, you
want.
weren't
Was
allowed.
it for women to do to men, or was it?
I don't remember entirely, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
Because prostitution goes both ways. It's not just for female.
of course not.
So
No, it goes both ways. You have male.
So what kind of
prostitutes.
pictures did you see on those? Was it like a craving thing?
No, it was painted.
It was painted.
Painted
What was on those
pictures.
paintings?
Well, very many X-rated things. It was
Was it many penises and many vaginas?
it was true porn in different positions.
Oh, Kama Sutra.
No, that's in India. This was not Pompeii. It's again, it's like the kebab shop. It was showing, oh, okay, I want you to do this position to me. I want you to do this or whatever, you know. And it was just pictures of people in the moment, you know, kind of thing. Very, very vivid pictures, very detailed pictures, I have to say.
So something like Kama
That
Sutra.
they
then.
have excavated and that are intact. That's like, screw the Kama Sutra. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's probably super cool. But I'm saying it's so amazing that they are like 3,000, 2,000, many thousand years later. I think it's 3,000. Maybe 4. I don't know. A long time ago.
I'm not good at history. I don't know.
I should know this, but anyhow, that you know there was this disaster that happened, and then it's been buried for that long, and then you open it up, and the pictures are still there. Like you went into some houses, there was some like buildings, houses, and the murals in there was just absolutely amazing with vibrant colors, like strong colors, and it was like no time had passed at all, like absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so from Amsterdam to Pompeii, and yeah,
And from traveling to porno and whore services.
cool. So we covered a
Cool.
lot today. Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing.
Yeah.
When I was at work today, nothing porno related, unless you would like to stay with that theme a little longer.
No,
Okay.
I think we're kind of done with that part. Like
Yes.
let's keep it dead and buried now.
Since we live in Norway, for in case who knows, it could be a first person clicking on the video be like, oh, where are they from? We are from Norway. I mean,
Well, not
we
from Norway.
live in Norway. We are
Mhm.
not from Norway, but I've noticed because the Eurovision
Yes.
is coming soon.
It's actually happening right
because
now.
we are recording now. We can say we
Yeah.
are recording the 9th of May.
Yeah.
Which is
so as we
Thursday.
speak right now, there's the second semifinals in the Eurovision Song Contest,
Yes.
the largest competition in the music competition
Music competition.
in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it is amazing. It
Mhm.
goes back 68 years, or this is the 68th year that we're doing it. It started in 1956 with only 7 countries competing. I only learned this in the first semifinals on Tuesday when they told us, because they always do a little gut setback.
Yeah.
But
I was
Eurovision,
so surprised
because you don't have any history of that.
No, well, it's yes, first of all, and second of all, so many Norwegians were so like onto it
Yes.
today, and they kept asking us like,
It's huge.
"Are you going to be streaming it?" and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I was like, "What is it even like? I know what is it about, but it was so like boom today, and I was
Yeah.
like, so then I decided
It's a religion to some people, you know?
yeah.
It's holy.
So I am going to watch it this year.
Yeah.
You are obviously going to watch it this year.
Already watching.
It's gonna be what for now? 3 days.
It was 2 days ago on Tuesday, and then it's today, tonight, and then it's the grand finale
On Saturday.
on Saturday, and it is in Malmö in Sweden. And funny thing for those of you who don't know, I'm sure all of you know ABBA, and ABBA
What?
won.
No.
I'm sure all of you who didn't grow up underneath a rock knows ABBA. And ABBA, they won the Eurovision Song Contest in, I think it was Brighton. I'm sorry. In 1974.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually 50 years ago now that they won, and that's how they became famous.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they had
Because of that,
their
yeah.
huge breakthrough
Yeah.
and conquered the world.
Was through Eurovision.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
50 years ago. And wouldn't you know, this year, on their 50th anniversary, Sweden is hosting the competition because we won last year with Loreen. Obviously, with Tattoo, the.
I don't think I was following it last year, so
You were not following,
I don't know.
No.
No, but anyway, I find it really interesting. And since we are recording this episode, because last time we were talking about me going to Lofoten, which hasn't happened yet, I'm actually leaving in 3 days. So we are going to be talking about
Yes.
Lofoten, and we would like to talk about Eurovision because we're going to be watching it.
Yes, we're watching it, and
So
we're going to
next
follow the
time-
results.
yeah,
and then
yeah.
we can talk about if we're happy about it or
If we're
sad
not,
about it.
You can just hear our feelings and emotions and our comments,
Where
basically.
we
which,
robbed or whatever, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about those two things. Lofoten, because I'm going to be back full of energy, full of many, many new experiences. And we're going to talk about Eurovision 2024. Yes. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to watch it.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually excited though, because I think I tried to have you watch it with us like a year ago, last
2
year,
years ago, I watched it at Sebastian's 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Weren't you at my place when Italy won?
No,
No?
no.
Oh,
I watched-
Måneskin. I loved it.
I haven't seen that, but that's a long time ago, though. It's like 5 years ago. Come on.
No, it's not.
Yes, must be.
No, it's not.
When did they win?
They won-
Måneskin.
Yes, I think they won in 2021. 2021.
Impossible.
Or no, it's
Impossible.
not. No,
Because
it's
I
not.
was still living in Czech Republic when I was running and I was listening to them after they won, and I was.
It's not 2020 because it was the
been
pandemic.
It could have been 21.
Will you
sure.
listen to me now?
Yes, but I wasn't here yet.
Who's following Eurovision? Me or you?
But I wasn't in Norway yet, so I couldn't have watched it in your living room, could I?
No, that's fine. That's fine. But you came that year.
I did.
Yeah. So it was just later. Anyhow, yeah. No, but I mean, and also like the views of that, because I grew up with this. I grew up with this. We had late nights. I was allowed to stay up late. Didn't have to go to bed. And I've seen the evolution, at least since the like late 80s. I've seen the evolution of Eurovision Song Contest, and I've followed it. I have to be honest and say I haven't watched it each and every year though. Most years I have, but there has been exceptions. For example, when I lived in New Zealand, obviously for obvious reasons, I wasn't watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that, eh? But you, being European, actually never watched it in that sense.
No, I watched it. I watched it,
Not in
as
that
I said,
sense.
2 years ago. I watched it full on
I'm
because
not
I was
saying growing
forced.
up, like.
Not growing up.
No.
But also we had one Czech girl. Her name is Gabriela Gunčíková. And
Hello.
she was at the very semi-final, and she was this close from winning.
Really?
And it was about, I don't want to lie, I'm just going to say 6 years ago, 7, something like that. Maybe less, I don't know, something like that.
Cool.
And she was there, and she has such a nice song. And not so long ago, I was actually listening to that song because it was super good. And she's a great singer, though. She now lives in America, and she sings, like, brutally well.
Oh.
Like, brutally well. And she
Lucky.
was so close from winning, though.
Yeah.
And so that was the year that I actually watched it, just because we had a good Czech person. Last year, I didn't really watch it. I just saw glances of it.
I think the Czech person last year was I think it was a blonde girl with really long hair. Don't remember the song, but I think she had really, really long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will definitely watch it. I think as soon as we finish recording, I will go and maybe watch it on demand. Can I do it?
Oh, I think you can, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I will do it. So then and then I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, you're gonna be
It's
so
gonna be exciting.
excited.
So and for you, if you're gonna be watching Eurovision as well, so then you're gonna know what we talk
I'm
about.
sure plenty of you will. It is again the largest music competition in the world.
Cool.
Yes,
Cool.
very exciting. I just have to say, after seeing the first semi-finals, that was on Tuesday, Ireland. I'm just gonna say Ireland, okay? And then all of yous, we can talk about that when Monica has seen it as well.
Oh, so you've seen something already?
On Tuesday, I just told you like 3 times on Tuesday. Are you not following?
But I got lost a
The
bit.
first semi-finals were on Tuesday. The second ones are today, Thursday, the 9th of May.
So I'm behind already.
Yeah, you're behind already.
Shit. I thought today.
And then the finals are on Saturday, in 2 days from now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll watch it
So there you
and we
go.
will get back to you.
Yes. There's a whole thing, you know, you watch it and then you write down the points and you have competitions within yourself and really, really cool. Okay, anywho, yeah. Don't get me started.
No, we will get you started on that
I'm very
one.
excited.
No, so we will
Yeah.
watch it, we will talk about it, we will think about it, we will sleep on it. We will get back to you next week. I would wrap it up now because we're a little bit, good time. Good
Cool.
time. Because
Cool.
we also
Cool.
have to go to work tomorrow, you say.
We also have lives outside the podcast.
Unfortunately.
You wouldn't think so, but we do.
Yeah, no, we do.
Yeah. Right.
So yes,
Cool.
thank you for today.
Thank you for today.
Tack för idag.
Always a pleasure.
Always.
Yes.
So as usual, please follow us on Instagram and Spotify. Yes, on TikTok
and YouTube.
and YouTube. Please just give us a follow, give us like, comment, and share stuff with us.
Yeah.
Share us with your friends.
Your
Your friends.
Your
yeah.
3 friends.
Your 3 friends. Share us. Please support us because we like to do what we do. We would like to do it for much longer. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And as usual, we will see you
Next
time.
Bye. Bye.